Hey guys, Fast Rockers, this is Tim. I just wanted to go ahead and do a quick video on the Apple iOS setup. This is the I've got a MacBook Air. If you got a MacBook Pro, the procedures are pretty much the same. If there are version differences between your Mac and mine, they'll be subtle, so there won't be any significance. So the main thing I want to talk about about dual monitors and using this on PowerPoint, especially with Zoom. All the instructions I put out in the Windows setup at the Zoom level and the PowerPoint level and are all the same. The only difference is at the hardware level. There are some physical differences, obviously. If you don't have yourself a cable, I happen to have on the side of my Mac, I've got a lightning bolt drive, and it has a connector. You can see it's got the lightning connector here. This happens to be connected to an HDMI cable, which then goes back behind this rat's nest behind my desk over to a second monitor, which is right there. Now, oh, by the way, in case you're wondering, this is the view from Julie in my office. So yes, we have it really bad out here in Sedona. Okay, so here's the second monitor. First monitor. First thing you want to do is plug the hardware in, and this will actually activate the second monitor. It's pretty straightforward. I plugged it in. You can see it flashes here, and it flashes there. Now, my monitor is already set up to be in dual monitor mode, so you can see my main desktop shifts to my larger display, which is directly in front of my keyboards. I've actually got two PCs, so don't get confused. The only keyboard here is the Apple one. I've got a Windows machine, which is underneath there, and I dual monitor everything. So this particular scenario is a Mac, and that's the main display. Now, I will switch to software mode and explain how the software configuration is. Right now, when I plug the hardware, that dongle in directly, it automatically went into dual monitor mode because it previously was set that way. So I'm going to actually break that and then do it again and show you. All right, this is Tim again, part two, just carrying on. I'm going to actually show you what I've done is I've set my monitors up. So if this is the very first time you're setting up a second monitor with your Mac, this is what it's going to look like. You plug in the hardware, and the monitor flashes here, and the monitor will flash over there. Now in this particular case, if you look carefully, both my monitors are actually showing the same screen. Okay, so that means it's both these monitors are acting as if they're mirrored. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go to the settings, system preferences. I'm going to go to the display button, and what you will see is the button that says arrangement. Keep in mind, if you see again, both the left monitor and the right monitor, they're mirroring each other. And the arrangement button is what you want to go to. If you look at the arrangement, it actually shows two tabs. You want to break it. You want to break it by clicking on the unmirror. So now that I pressed unmirror, my primary monitor is on my laptop, and my secondary monitor is on my second display, and there's nothing on it because I haven't actually told it to use it yet. So before we finish this up, I have to finish up my settings over here. I can also take a closer look. You see this little white bar that's over the top? If I click on it, it's showing that monitor with the red one, not this one, the one on the right, which is red, is actually the master. So what I'm going to do is drag it and drop it here to the larger monitor so that they're adjacent to each other, left to right. And if for some reason the monitors pop up on the opposite side, left to right, right to left, it'll show you using the red perimeter, the border, that will make it look like which monitor is the one you're clicking on. So anyway, so now what I've done is I've moved this little bar to the big monitor, and as you can see, what happens is all my icons disappear from that monitor over here, the laptop monitor, and they've all showed up on my main monitor, which is going to be my main display. So all I have to do now is say finish. And if you remember on the Windows setup, I also did talk about under System Preferences on the Windows, the display preferences, under Arrangement, you do have the ability to move these monitors around. So obviously my larger monitor is physically to my left of the laptop, which is there. So I'm going to leave this where it is, and I'm going to leave it sort of adjacent to this. So if I were to move my mouse across from left to right, it'll flow seamlessly across both displays. Okay, so if you watch here, I'm going to click here, and if I move my mouse to the right, it hits the end. But if you watch on this side, it shows up right here. So it's actually on the end of one monitor and the second one. Okay, so I can move seamlessly left to right. That's the only difference that you have to deal with between a Mac and a Windows. Now, if you were to, let me switch to capturing my screen on the computer. Okay, I've started recording my screens so you can see the displays a little bit better. And so just for the sake of better quality of display, I'm going to just repeat what I did earlier, what I showed you earlier on the camera. You go to System Preferences, you click on Displays, you click on Arrangement, and you can see the monitors are left and right, and the little white bar here shows this monitor as the primary. So if I were to move it to this side, the right side, the other monitor would be primary, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to switch it back. So now that you have your main monitor on the larger display, you have more real estate to actually do everything. So what we'll be doing is we'll be running PowerPoint presentation mode and a few extra windows over here, and you can run your slave, which would be the slideshow, will present on the second screen, and we'll do that through PowerPoint. Okay, so if I set up or just open up PowerPoint, so I'm going to just pick a random picture here. Alright, so this is a project that Julie and I are working on, Zentegration Meditations. As a matter of fact, if you're interested in a little shameless plug, you can find us on zentegration.com, and we'll be releasing that probably next week. This will be a subscription model to do a deep dive meditation. So anyway, I'm going to use this PowerPoint, and as you can see on the PowerPoint, you've got the slideshow again. And under the slideshow settings, if you automatically click on slideshow play from start, the main screen, actually it's gone backwards, so let me show you what happened. So what happened was the main monitor was favored by the Mac and PowerPoint as the primary monitor, so it's going to display the slideshow here. What you actually want to do is use the main monitor, which has more real estate, and run the slideshow on the second monitor, which is the laptop, which it's a smaller screen. And the simple way to do that is this. I'm actually going to get out of slideshow mode. I need to change my recording. I'm going to show you the simpler way to do this. So when you fire up and your main monitor takes over, your secondary monitor has what's coming up next. It's kind of a presentation view. You can actually go to here where it says swap displays, and if you do that, now what happens is the main monitor on the left hand side is being set up for teeing up what's coming up next, and the one on the right is the active display, which is the slideshow. Once you have this configuration set up where you have the main monitor is your dashboard, you can actually now fire up things like Zoom. So I'm going to fire up Zoom. Here comes Zoom. I'm going to actually start with video, pretend like I'm actually going to do something here, and go to share screen. And I can say I'm going to share PowerPoint slideshow. So the one, this icon matches the slideshow. So that's what I'm going to be displaying. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to present on that side. And I can now manage my participants. I should have enough real estate on this screen to be able to keep my participants, my chat box. I can put my chat box somewhere here, so I can still keep an eye on my clock, how long my presentation is going, and I can still see things without really interfering. Now, what happened the other day is that something weird happened. I actually normally like to keep my chat boxes on the presentation window, because there's nothing really going on over here other than people are looking at what's coming on in the background. But what seemed to have happened on the Windows machine is this particular presentation started to get an overlay, a weird video graphic overlay, where you could actually, as somebody who's watching the screens, could see the back, see everything fine here. They could not see these boxes, but the graphics underneath these overlaid windows were actually getting garbled up, and there was a delay in rendering the page. So I have a feeling it had to do with the memory. We probably didn't reboot the PC for a while, and when PowerPoint started to run, it became a little confused about all these overlaid windows with not enough memory to run them. So this is where I had showed you guys how to run it last time. If for some reason you're having some problems with display, it's real easy. Just move them over, move them back to the other side, and you can see, you're going to use a larger dashboard on this side. And then from here forward, it's just a matter of you guys playing with your zoom settings. And as you can see, we have the zoom settings are still up at the top. You push your mouse and you hold it up at the top of the window, and that's when it shows back up. If you click anywhere else, I think it goes away. There it goes. And it's sometimes you wonder where these windows go away if you just move your mouse and release. Alternatively, you can also use the command tab, and when you use the command tab, it brings up your screens that you are actively running, and you can go find the zoom screen, and now zoom comes to the front. Okay, so that's it. This is the Mac version of the how to run dual monitor display with PowerPoint and Zoom all at the same time. Until next time, from Sedona, Arizona, bye for now.